But why don't you tell us about some other kind of games?
Yes, I will. So we know Epic Games.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of them.
And we know Among Us.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, Epic Games decided to launch inside of Fortnite a mode called Fortnite Imposters. And it's
so
pretty much the same thing as Among Us.
Yeah.
Do you think they were just bored from not being in court anymore? They're like, we want to go back to court.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't think that Inner Sloth, which is the developers of Among Us, I don't think that they're gonna do any, like, outside of the media campaign. I don't think they're gonna do anything about it. Yeah,
No.
exactly. But it's like, this is, and like for all the, there's a lot of good things that Epic does. I don't particularly think all this Apple stuff was a smart idea for them and was a good move, but there's a lot of things. One thing that you can say about Epic, that they've definitely been people coming out of the woodwork saying this about them in the past, and it seems like they're still kind of doing it, is they like to kind of, we kind of want to do that too. Mm-hmm. I mean, their whole game, Fortnite, is basically, we just really loved PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and we wanted to keep playing it, so we made this. I mean, that's kind of like a thing that they're known for doing, is just seeing stuff that's popular and good and just taking it and just kind of repurposing it and doing it themselves. Yep. So, and the other thing that's just kind of adds insult to injury in a way is that Inner Sloth had to deal with Epic because Among Us was free on Epic Game Store for a while. And then when that ended, all of a sudden now in Fortnite you can basically play Among Us. So,
do you know how it was played?
How the Fortnite version?
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, like, how it started. I don't know if you have to go into the map and then there's a spot over there. I'm not exactly sure because I don't play Fortnite.
Yep.
But the one good thing, I guess, the saving grace is it's supposedly going to be a timed mode. But honestly, I feel like because when Fortnite started, it was save the world. That was the main thing. And the Battle Royale was a timed thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it became the main thing. So I don't think that this is going to become their main thing, but if it's popular enough, I can see them absolutely like splitting it off and be like, oh, the Fortnite Imposter's on its own or whatever kind of thing.
What's funny is a lot like the Inner Sloth people were saying, they didn't even really repurpose it. Like, the rooms are named the same, the map, like, they didn't put any effort to even try to change it into something that wasn't Among Us.
Yeah, so the community manager has been saying a couple of things on Twitter, and then like one of the developers, Gary Porter, he put out a tweet and he said, "Oh, it's okay. They flipped the electrical and med bay and connected the security to the cafeteria."
Yeah,
he's like, "I wasn't even around for the development of Skeld, which is the name of that first map." He said, "And I'm kind of offended."
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, man, you were just working with them to like hash out this deal, like, oh, you could be our free game for a while or whatever. Like, so you clearly had lines of communication because their community manager was even like, hey, it'd have been nice to have like a collaboration on this.
Yeah.
And they just didn't mention anything about this. And this, after our kind of collaboration on us making their game as part of their platform for free for a little while, they just kind of put out this thing, and it's like, it's almost like one of those things where I know it's not this simple, and they don't think they did this, but it's like, oh, you get close to that person, like, yeah, oh man, great, we're buddies, and really you just go in, you steal their idea and their thing that they're doing, you just learn as much as you can while we're buddies, then like, hey, we didn't sign anything.
I mean, it's kind of like when Gabe came back from California after hanging out with Blessing, and he was like, hey, I'm going to start my own thing called Mildly Humorous, made it up all on my own.
Exactly. That's exactly what it would have been like, but I didn't do that.
Well, we didn't let you do it, but yeah, man, it was great.
Yeah, it was a great idea. The co-founder of Inner Sloth, I thought his tweet was blazing.
Yeah.
He said, we didn't patent the Among Us mechanics. Mm-hmm. I don't think that leads to a healthy game industry to patent mechanics.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it really that hard to put 10% more effort into putting your own spin on it, though?
Exactly.
Wow.
That's next level. Like,
that is.
I mean, you picked up the gun, you loaded it, you aimed it, you shot it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you're like, oh, geez, that's just like, because I would imagine when you're the originator of something and then it gets copied, especially on that kind of scale, you're like, come on, guys. You know what I mean?
Especially when it's such a blatant copy. It's not even,
Which again, it's absolutely it's an own thing now, and they've added so much to it over the years. But when Fortnite came out, it was basically a cartoon Battlegrounds. Like that's all that it was.
Right,
it had. I think even in the early days, it did have the building mechanic, which is one thing that kind of that was its 10%. That was different.
Yeah.
But everybody was just like, this is just Battlegrounds. And then, of course, it took off and became the popular one. And they've added all kinds of other different things. So, but still, it's just like...
That's tough. That's a tough.
Yeah, it's... I mean, I'm kind of bummed for them. I don't think it's really going to hurt them. And kudos to them being like, look, we want other people to be able to do things like this. We don't want to be the only people that can do this style of game,
That's why they didn't patent the mechanic.
Exactly.
Like he's saying. He's like, it's unhealthy if you do that.
Yeah.
They could have... but also maybe they didn't because it's expensive. Maybe they did it because it costs lawyers. And at the time that Among Us comes out, remember, they're not making the money that they made, 2 years after the games come out and blows up out of no place. So there could have been a lot more to it. I'm not saying he's lying, but I'm saying there could be a lot more to it.